Yes, everybody, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everyone's excited for the game tomorrow. We're going to be talking a little bit about United and Sheffield United, funnily enough. There's also something, before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about United, the narrative around us, our form, all that sort of good stuff. So, one of my friends, shout out to Shaders, he likes to fuck around with data and stuff like that, and he's been looking at some different data points, and I think this is his own creation, all of this that he's done. He's basically got United in the last 5 games, a second only to one team, which is a surprise, and I'll reveal that in a bit. In the last 5 games, there's actually only 3 teams undefeated out of the whole 20 in the league, and that is Burnley, Wolves, and United are the only undefeated teams. United have won 3, drawn 2, which makes that one at weekend disappointing. United are on 11 points from the last 5 games, obviously out of 15. The 2 draws really done us in there. If that had been 4 wins and a draw, fantastic return. But here's what the team is above us. Crystal Palace, 4 wins and only 1 loss in last 5. Strange one. Liverpool are down in 5th. Manchester City down in 8th. Chelsea sitting there in 4th. Tottenham all the way down in 14th. And when you consider that actually in our last 5 games, a great cross-section of teams. Teams that we've done bad against. Teams that we've done all right against. Teams that you'd expect us to do better against. But our last 5 games, Chelsea, 2-0 win. Watford was tricky in the past, 3-0 win, piece of piss. Everton away, 1-1. City at home, 2-0. And Spurs, 1-1. That's not bad. That's not a bad run of form. That's good form, really, showing that we're second in that. If you take it to 6, we're second only to Liverpool. Only a point behind what Liverpool have got. So, not terrible form lately. And I think with all the factors going into everything at the Spurs game, I don't think people understand how much easier it is to be the team that goes, fuck it, we'll defend, versus the team that has to go and create stuff. The scoring, everybody starts with no goals scored. Keeping it no goals scored is well easier than being a team that goes out and scores the goals. Well, there you go. So something to think on. Form's doing quite well. A slight improvement in that. United are going to be an absolute handful for anything that comes our way. A couple of quotes that came out of the game on Friday night. Ollie was talking about Pogba. He said, Paul is one of the best players in the world and it's great to have him back. It would be good to give him some minutes. It's good to give him some minutes and he'll work hard to get even fitter for next time and play more. It's a different team to the team he left with his injuries. Not wrong on that. Maguire obviously talking about his former club. He said it's a fantastic football club, one I'm really proud because of how well they are doing at the moment. I'm really happy with how they're doing. And theirs is the first result I look for after a game with United. Interesting. Some team news. Tuan Zabit and Jones expected still to be absent through injury after being ruled out of the Spurs game. Lindelof is a little bit of a doubt. Obviously hobbled off with a knock against Spurs, given the short turnover. Would we expect Bay to be the replacement? I've put Bay in the team on that basis, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Lindelof line up either. Sheffield United are going to be without Dean Henderson. Oosh, obviously because he's on loan from us, but that's a big blow for them. Another blow will be the absence of John Egan after his red card against Newcastle. And Jack O'Connell is another first-choice defender likely to miss out because of injury. So, great opportunity for United to go and do some stuff here, I do believe. So that's 3 out of the first... out of 6 first-choice defensive players that are set to be absent. United really don't have a lot of excuses when it comes to chance creation. Wilder's obviously a wily old manager. He's got Sheffield United playing some fantastic football. Let's see if we can go get the 3 points off them tomorrow, which is what we need. Past meetings, we haven't beaten Sheffield United since 93. To be fair, we haven't played them that often. And the last time that they won at Old Trafford was in 1973. Again, long old time. United have won 7 out of the 8 last meetings, winning 7 in a row and conceding just once before the score draw earlier in the season. And we faced Sheffield United just 3 times at Old Trafford in the Premier League era, winning all 3 by an aggregate score of 7-1. So not too bad. United have got 47% of wins. Sheffield United 36% and 17% have ended up in draws. Managerial head-to-head, the only time that they played each other was the 3-3 earlier in the season. United's form coming into this isn't bad. The Spurs draw extended our unbeaten run to 12 games. We haven't conceded in the last 4 home games, which is 3 wins and 1 draw, scoring 10 in that period. Last 3 games at Old Trafford, 2-0 against City, 5-0 against Bruges, 3-0 against Watford, all looking happy days. Since the restart, Sheffield United have lost all their momentum, haven't scored a goal. That could be big. Lost 3-0 to Newcastle on Sunday. It's only the second time they've conceded 3 in a single game this season. The other occasion was the reserve game through the reverse fixture against United. And in their game since the restart, a 0-0 draw with Aston Villa. All right, clearly shouldn't have been fucking 0-0 because the referee decided to have a day off, or at least he's watched it. And 3-0 against Newcastle. Not scoring, though, has got to be a big problem for them. Player to watch for United is undoubtedly got to be Paul Pogba. After the impact that we saw at Spurs, I think he's got to be in line to a return to the starting lineup. I understood the reason. I sat here last week and told you the reason why I was going to go with a midfield of McTominay, Fred and Bruno. And then Solskjaer went with that midfield 3, and I completely agreed with... If he was thinking along the same lines I was, I obviously completely agreed with that. I expected more from Spurs. I knew there was... I literally said to you, didn't I? They're going to give us the ball. I didn't expect they'd give us that much of the fucking ball. They really didn't want to play us. I still thought there'd be a fight, and especially with Sissoko in midfield, I thought there'd be an actual physical battle that you might need a little bit more energy in. Sheffield United at home, I do see this as the opportunity that you play Bruno and Pogba from the start. We're going to have a fat percentage of possession. That means you've got to turn that possession into penetration, and that means you've got to do more work in the final third, because that's what let us down against Tottenham. So Pogba and Bruno have to play. Anyway, against a normally resolute defence, United are definitely going to need all of the creativity, because these are generally hard to score against, although one of the main factors for that is missing, and so is another main factor of that, so hopefully we'll get it going. But either way, the team shape will be happy days. He did go for 3-4-3 in the last fixture. I don't think Pogba and Bruno would be my go-to as a 4 across midfield. But if he wanted to, this might be an option to try your 3. But with injuries to Tuanzebe, injuries to Jones, and injury to Lindelof, I do think he's going to go 4-3-3. So this is how I'm going to line us up. We're going with Big Dave in net. Yes, there's a decision to be made. I don't think he's going to make it yet, though. And I don't think the time is right to bring in Romero. So I think De Gea will keep his place. Wan-Bissaka at right back. We're bringing in Brandon Williams for this because we're expecting and needing a player that can get beyond. One of the main issues that I had, and I don't think people fully understand what I was trying to say here with this, is Luke Shaw thinks he's an inverted fullback. So when Luke Shaw gets the ball, he comes up to the spot where Marcus is there. He doesn't go beyond. He comes inside. Well, from that position, Marcus comes inside. So there's no blend there. They don't work together. Brandon Williams, and actually Luke Shaw had some good games prior to lockdown. Most of them came as a left centre-half. They didn't come as a left-back. Brandon Williams offers far more in the final third. He's quick, he covers, and I would like to see him get beyond. Once he gets beyond, he drags a defender away, takes someone away from Marcus, gives him more room. Spurs triple mark Marcus, who had a very, very quiet game on Friday. I don't think he was out by Luke Shaw at all. So I would like to see Brandon brought in to do that. The obvious change there is Eric Bailly in defence for Lindelof alongside Maguire. That could be enough, I think, to keep them quiet. I went with McTominay, who I thought he had a ton of interceptions. I think it was 11 interceptions against Tottenham. Did a lot of the dirty work, and he did it quite well. And I think let him run himself ragged for an hour and bring Matic in to shore it up. We start with Pogba and Bruno. We start on the front foot and we fucking go for it. And I've also made another change on the right there. Let's bring in Greenwood. There was no space in behind against Tottenham. I don't think there'll be too much space in behind against Sheffield United as well, because they're going to also be very, very deep. If there's no space in behind, you make the space in between the lines. Who's going to be great in between the lines? Mason Greenwood. Mason was very unlucky not to get a goal, and I think he would have played a bit longer than he came on for. And Pogba got all the plaudits when he came on. But Mason Greenwood looked ridiculous when he came on. He was so close to opening the scoring. Twice, actually. And I think if he'd have had another shot, it probably would have gone in. So Mason gets the nod for me. Dan James did not look at the races. In fact, Rashford, Martial and Dan James, none of them looked at the races because there was a total lack of penetration from United, and Spurs did a number on us, just didn't want to play us and prevented their... That's a line that needs to get in behind people, and they just stopped us getting in behind. And when you've got the whole left-hand sides pushing in, we made it easy for them. So we start Pogba, we start Greenwood, and we start Brandon Williams. That's going to improve our final third. And I think United are going to have it. Score prediction from me. 2-0 United. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think we're going to get a couple of goals. And I think we're going to get it done. But that's what I reckon this week. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with the starting 11? Give me your starting 11. What's going to be the main threats that we need to be looking out for Sheffield United? Now we've taken away Dean Henderson from them. Do you think they're going to break their duck on scoring goals, or are you going to United really start to turn the screw for them, and maybe we see them drop out of contention altogether if United manage to get them beat? Give us your score predictions, all that sort of good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.